are back with Cameron, and Cameron, Macklin Celebrini's season has been incredible in what has been his sophomore season. He has 49 more points than the second highest scorer on the Sharks, which is Will Smith. And if the Hart Trophy is truly for the player that is most valuable to their team, should the award be Celebrini's to lose?
If they make the playoffs, I can't see how it goes to anyone else, according to the definition of the award.
A rookie just stepped into one of hockey's biggest debates, and the conversation changed almost overnight. New reports, advanced tracking data, and analyst reactions pushed one name into MVP territory faster than expected. The numbers are now being compared with the league's top stars, and the definition of value is being questioned again. But what the data is actually showing goes even deeper.
Like, we think by year 4, possibly 5, he's going to be a man,
Yep.
and he'll fill out, and he might get 80 points. Guy's got 40 Gs and 100 points.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, that's
you're right.
Same with Schaefer. They could have drafted him, and they could have thought about a different game plan if things weren't working out. Should he go back to junior? He's a stud in the NHL, one of the league's best defensemen already at 18.
Clearly not. Clearly
Yeah,
not.
like it's-
that's Celebrini's the most valuable player in the league this year. Now, like that, he is the most valuable player to his team, in my opinion, because they have been the worst team in the league the last 2 years by a country mile. Like, horrendous. The only reason they're
might have a point
out
man.
is because of him. Now,
The
that
discussion
doesn't
around Macklin Celebrini changed when new analysis from major outlets placed his name into the Hart Trophy conversation. This was not based on hype alone. Reports examined how his performance fits into the definition of most valuable to his team. That definition is used every year for the MVP award, and it focuses on impact, not just scoring totals. Coverage from reports focused on how value can be measured in different ways. It explained that players on strong teams often receive more recognition because of wins and standings, but the report also pointed out that individual importance can shift that view. It stated that if a player drives most of his team's offense or controls key moments in games, that player can still enter the MVP discussion even without top standings. This is where Celebrini's situation becomes important. The San Jose Sharks are in a rebuilding phase. Their roster includes many developing players. Because of that, individual contributions are easier to track. Reports noted that Celebrini has been involved in key offensive plays, including puck movement into scoring areas and creating chances during transitions. At the same time, NHL Edge tracking data added measurable proof. This system tracks real-time player movement, puck possession, and zone activity. According to the NHL report, Celebrini's metrics show strong offensive zone involvement. His puck touches and zone entries are recorded at rates that align with experienced players. This data is not based on opinion. It comes from tracking systems used across the league. The report also included skating and positioning metrics. Celebrini's speed and acceleration were recorded at competitive levels. His positioning near high-danger scoring areas was consistent. These areas are where most goals are created. Being present in those zones increases the chances of offensive success, and that presence was recorded multiple times. The discussion continued as analysts focused on how value is defined across the league. The Hart Trophy is not awarded only for scoring totals. It is given to the player judged most valuable to his team. This definition allows different types of players to enter the conversation. Reports showed that Celebrini's case is built on team dependence and measurable involvement in plays. NHL Edge tracking data provided further detail. The system recorded Celebrini's puck possession time and offensive zone entries across multiple games. These entries are tracked when a player carries or passes the puck into attacking areas. The data showed that he consistently contributed to these transitions. This level of involvement is often linked to players who control the pace of a game. The tracking system also measured time spent in high-danger areas. These areas are close to the goal where scoring chances are highest. Celebrini's presence in these zones was recorded frequently. This does not confirm goals alone, but it shows positioning that leads to scoring opportunities. The data placed his activity within ranges seen in established offensive players. At the same time, reports compared this data with league standards. Players like Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon have produced consistent numbers over multiple seasons. Their records include high point totals and strong team performance. The comparison did not replace their position in the race, it created a reference point for evaluating Celebrini's impact using the same criteria. Reports explained that MVP discussions often depend on context. It noted that players on playoff teams usually receive more attention, but the report also stated that individual value can stand out when supported by data. This is where the Sharks' situation becomes part of the evaluation. A rebuilding team provides a clearer view of individual impact because fewer players dominate possession and scoring. The reports also highlighted how award discussions change during the season. Early analysis often focuses on expectations. As more games are played, data replaces projection. Celebrini's case moved into this stage as tracking metrics and performance data became available. This shift allowed analysts to discuss his role using recorded evidence instead of early predictions. NHL Edge data continues to update after every game. It records skating speed, puck movement, and positioning in real time. Celebrini's metrics remain part of the system. The data reflects ongoing performance, not a single game or moment. This continuous tracking keeps the discussion active as new numbers are added. The comparison between individual value and team success remains central. Some players lead strong teams, others play key roles on developing rosters. The definition of value allows both cases to be considered. Reports did not confirm any final outcome. They showed that Celebrini's performance meets several measurable criteria used in MVP discussions, and that has kept his name in the conversation as the data continues to grow.
I think obviously just putting the X beside our name is the most important thing, just getting in. That's our main focus. Where we are seated, not too concerned about it. You know, we can start series on the road, we can start series at home, pretty comfortable either way, but just got to get in.
Something changed inside the Edmonton Oilers locker room, and Connor McDavid just said it out loud. This was not about scoring goals or highlight plays. It was about control structure and a team that suddenly looks different after a 3-1 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. His words pointed to a deeper shift, and what he revealed next started raising serious attention.
5 wins in a row, not a lot of goals going in your own net. What's going on with the strong defensive play?
The goalie's been playing really well. Kill's been good. When you're not giving up one on the kill every night, you give yourself a chance to put some low numbers on the board, and the goalies, have played really well.
The Edmonton Oilers secured a 3-1 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks, extending their winning streak to 5 games. During this stretch, the team reduced goals against and showed more stability in defensive play. This change became clear through both game results and post-game remarks from Connor McDavid, who pointed directly to what was working inside the team. McDavid highlighted goaltending as a major factor. He said, the goalies have been playing really well. That statement reflected consistent performances in net, where fewer goals were allowed across consecutive games. The Oilers did not rely on high scoring in this match. Instead, they controlled the game by limiting mistakes and keeping the opponent chances low. He also explained the role of special teams. McDavid stated, when you're not giving up one on the kill every night, you give yourself a chance to put some low numbers on the board. This showed a direct connection between penalty kill, improvement, and game outcomes. The Oilers avoided giving away easy goals, which helped them maintain control throughout the match. The structure of the game remained steady from start to finish. Edmonton scored early and held their lead without major breakdowns. Defensive pairings stayed organized and transitions were clean. The Blackhawks struggled to create pressure, and most of their chances were limited to low-risk areas. McDavid also placed this performance in a larger context. He compared this stage of the season to previous years. He said, it is easy to make the comparison obviously close to playoff time. This showed that the team understood the timing of their improvement. As the regular season moves toward its final phase, each game carries more weight in the standings. He continued by stressing urgency. McDavid said, these games matter and we are dug in. This reflected a clear shift in focus. The team was not experimenting or adjusting casually. Instead, they were playing with purpose, knowing that each win impacts their position for playoff qualification. Another key point came from team engagement, McDavid explained. You can tell the emotional engagement is there. This pointed to a change inside the group. Players were more active, more focused, and more involved during every shift. That level of engagement often leads to fewer mistakes and stronger overall performance. He also addressed where the team might start a playoff series. McDavid stated, we can start the series on the road, we can start the series at home. This reflected confidence in different environments. The Oilers did not show preference for home ice advantage. Instead, they focused on maintaining consistent performance regardless of location. This mindset matched their recent results. The team played controlled hockey, avoided unnecessary risks, and stayed disciplined in key moments. Their defensive structure remained strong even when the opponent pushed back. That consistency became a defining part of their current run. Another important factor in this stretch was playing without Leon Draisaitl. His absence did not slow the team progress, McDavid explained. It has been a team effort, obviously. This indicated that the Oilers were not relying on one or two players. Instead, they spread responsibility across the lineup. Defensive units played a key role in that shift, McDavid said. RD have played really, really well. This referred to strong performances from multiple pairings who maintained positioning and reduced breakdowns. Their ability to control space limited scoring chances from opponents. He also highlighted specific consistency within defensive lines. McDavid mentioned that certain pairings had been as solid as we have had. This showed stability in a part of the game that often decides close matches. Strong defense allowed the Oilers to protect leads and control tempo. Offensive production also became more balanced, McDavid stated. We are getting scoring from kind of everyone. This reflected a wider contribution from the roster. Goals were not limited to one line, which made the team harder to defend against. At the same time, developing players began to show progress. McDavid spoke about a teammate adjusting to the league. He said, he has obviously figured out the defensive side first. This showed a step-by-step development process where defense came before offensive impact. He added, you can obviously see the offense is starting to come now. This indicated that improvement was already visible during games. Better puck movement and stronger positioning created new scoring chances. One moment in the game also brought attention to officiating decisions. A goal was reviewed and ruled offside. McDavid responded, I guess because it was offside. He then added, I do not think anybody understands that rule. This reflected ongoing confusion about how certain calls are made during reviews. Despite that situation, the Oilers maintained control and closed the game without losing momentum. Their structure held and their defensive focus remained intact until the final moments. As this winning streak continued, the Oilers showed clear signs of change. Strong goaltending, improved defense, balanced scoring, and full team engagement all came together. McDavid's words outlined each part of that shift, and as these elements kept building the attention around, this team continued to grow.
You're just about to send your team out onto the ice, and you've got to tell them your boss just got fired. Good luck with that. That situation Craig Berube found himself in last night. To talk about it, here's the coach, Bruce Boudreau. Bruce, you went through a similar scenario in the past. What's that like?
Well, it's not a lot of fun, I can tell you that, and both for the coach and for the players, because A, you don't want to distract them from the game, but B, you start to think, okay, he was my guy. He was the guy I was hanging on to. If he's gone, what's my situation?
Shockwaves hit the Toronto Maple Leafs after a sudden front office move, and within hours, attention shifted straight to the bench. Pressure started building around Craig Berube as reports linked past NHL patterns to what could happen next. Nothing has been confirmed, but the silence from management is raising serious concern, and the situation is still unfolding. The focus around Craig Berube intensified immediately after the management change inside the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. In the NHL, when a general manager leaves or is removed, attention often shifts toward the head coach. This pattern has been observed in multiple teams over recent seasons. The Maple Leafs situation now follows that same structure, and it has placed Berube under direct scrutiny. Recent team performance added to this pressure. The Maple Leafs have recorded mixed results in their last few games. In one match, they secured a 2-1 overtime win against the Anaheim Ducks. Reuters reported, John Tavares nets OT winner, Maple Leafs down Ducks. That result showed the team's ability to close tight games, but it did not remove concerns about consistency. In another game, the Leafs faced a heavy loss against the St. Louis Blues. Reuters stated, Blues stay hot, crush Maple Leafs. The team conceded 6 goals in that match. Defensive breakdowns were visible early in the game. The Blues maintained control throughout, and the Leafs were unable to recover. This result increased discussion around team structure and in-game adjustments. As these results came in, media coverage across Canada began focusing on coaching decisions. Analysts pointed to defensive organization and game management. The combination of a close win and a heavy loss created a mixed performance pattern. This inconsistency became a key topic in discussions about the team's direction. Craig Berube addressed the situation in a recent interview. According to Sportsnet, he said, "It's been my life. The statement referred to his long career in hockey. He acknowledged the uncertainty around his position. Reports noted that he is aware of the pressure but continues to focus on his role. His comments did not indicate any change in status, but they reflected the ongoing situation. The situation around Craig Berube did not slow down after the initial reaction. Instead, discussion expanded across league coverage as analysts compared this case to past NHL decisions. In several teams, a change at the general manager level was followed by a coaching adjustment within a short period. This pattern has been referenced repeatedly in recent reports, and it continues to shape expectations. Berube's coaching record remains part of the conversation. He led the St. Louis Blues to a Stanley Cup in 2019. That achievement is documented as a major milestone in his career. However, current evaluations are focused on present team performance. In professional hockey, past results do not guarantee job security. This standard applies across all teams, and the Maple Leafs are no exception. Attention has also turned toward game structure and execution. In the loss to St. Louis, the Leafs allowed 6 goals. The defensive unit showed gaps in coverage. Early goals changed the pace of the game. The Blues maintained pressure, and the Leafs could not regain control. This match has been used as a reference point in ongoing analysis, and it added to concerns about consistency. At the same time, the overtime win against Anaheim showed a different outcome. The team limited scoring chances and secured a narrow victory. John Tavares scored the deciding goal in overtime. The result confirmed that the team can perform under pressure. However, the contrast between games has remained a central issue in coverage, and it continues to draw attention. Media outlets have maintained focus on Berube's position. Sportsnet reports emphasized his awareness of the situation. His statement, "It's been my life," has been widely cited. It reflects his long-term involvement in hockey, but does not address future decisions. No official confirmation has been provided by team management, and that has kept uncertainty in place. The Maple Leafs schedule adds another layer to this situation. The team is playing games within short intervals. Limited recovery time affects performance and preparation. Each result now carries more weight due to the stage of the season. Analysts have noted that upcoming games could influence internal evaluations, and this has increased focus on immediate outcomes.
Here's William Nylander from today on what he has seen this year and maybe what he thinks has possibly gone wrong with the Leafs.
You look back at it and you kind of wish the team had done something different, like it was played different, or I don't know. When you look back at it, do you see the mistakes that as they piled up, kind of?
I mean, I have like my thoughts about maybe some stuff, but I mean that's something I'm going to keep to myself.
Okay. So yeah, Willie's not going to reveal it, not surprisingly, and I don't think he shouldn't just sit there and start throwing daggers.
Silence can be louder than anything, and William Nylander just proved it in a way no one expected. After a season full of pressure and criticism, he faced the media, and instead of explaining, he gave one cold sentence that instantly spread across the NHL. No details, no emotion, just silence. And now, that silence is raising questions no one can answer. Yet, the moment happened quickly, but it changed the entire conversation around the Toronto Maple Leafs. Reporters asked William Nylander a direct question about the season. It was a normal question. Players are asked this all the time, especially after a difficult stretch. Most players respond with simple answers. They talk about effort, mistakes, or what needs to improve. Nylander did not do that. He paused, stayed calm, and gave a short answer. He said, "Something I'm going to keep to myself." That was the full response. He did not add anything else. He did not explain what he meant. He did not go into details about the team or the season. The interview moved on, but the moment did not. This response quickly became a major talking point across hockey media. According to Sportsnet, Nylander chose not to explain where the season went wrong. The report confirmed that he declined to share his thoughts publicly when asked directly. That choice stood out immediately. Players usually give structured answers in these situations. They often say the team needs to be better or that small mistakes made a big difference. These answers are common. They are expected. Nylander's response did not follow that pattern. It was short, it was controlled, and it gave nothing away. Another report from Toronto Sun also highlighted this moment. The article explained that Nylander clearly has opinions about the season, but decided not to share them. The focus was not on what he said, but on what he chose not to say. That made the moment different. The Maple Leafs have been under heavy pressure. Expectations were high throughout the season. Media coverage has been constant. Players have faced repeated questions about performance, effort, and results. Nylander has been part of that environment. His response came during that pressure. It did not include frustration or anger. His tone stayed neutral, his words stayed limited. But the message was still clear. He was not going to explain his thoughts. That decision created a strong reaction. The reaction to that moment grew quickly, and the focus shifted from the team's performance to Nylander's response itself. Media coverage continued to highlight the same quote. The sentence, "something I'm going to keep to myself," was repeated across broadcasts and articles. It became the main reference point